following presentation is brought to you by Ron Geyer, a professional guide, outfitter, writer, and photographer. Ron's experience in the field as a hunter, guide, and journalist spans decades and travels all throughout the world. These chapters from his video, The Guide's Guide to Hunting, Hunter Education from Bench to the Field, Guns and Optics, is provided as a courtesy to RMTV viewers to help educate, inform, and better prepare you as a hunter and a sportsman on your next upcoming small game to big game rifle hunt. If you're an experienced rifleman, sportsman, and hunter, you'll enjoy Ron Geyer's easy-to-understand approach to selecting everything from your rifle, scope, binoculars, and spotting scopes. You might even learn more about properly sighting it in, trigger pull, and recoil. If you're a new hunter, you're going to learn a lot. Bullets, calibers, all about optics, shooting positions, safety, shot placement, and so much more. Ron Geyer's Guide to Hunting, Hunter Education from the Bench to the Field, Guns and Optics is one of the most complete, thorough video presentations for everyone from the new hunter to the seasoned pro. To get your own personal and complete copy, order online by going to www.theguidesguidetohunting.com or contact Tracker Marketing, 4130 Pinewood Lake Drive, Bakersfield, California, 93309. Full and complete price is only $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling.
Well, hello. My name is Ron Geyer. I'm a professional hunting guide. Been that for almost 20 years. And this is the second in a series of programs I'm producing called The Guide's Guide to Hunting. This one's entitled From the Bench to the Field, Guns and Optics. We're going to walk you through the selection of a right caliber of a weapon for the game you're going to be hunting. We're going to talk to you about selecting the loads, the right bullet for the game you're after. We're going to talk about scopes and the combination with the rifle so you can make the right selection for the game that you're after. We're going to discuss all the optics you're going to need as a hunter: binoculars, spotting scope, and rangefinder. We're going to show you how you can enhance your ability as a hunter by using these tools properly. So enjoy the program. Let's take some time to talk about rifle caliber and why you'd want a certain caliber for the game that you're pursuing. You need to decide on what kind of a hunter you're going to be. Are you after small game, varmints, rabbits, or are you after deer, elk, or moose? Because it really determines the kind of gun that you're going to need, the kind of caliber, and the kind of bullet weight that you're going to have. Larger animals that have thicker skins, that have more mass to them, the bullet has to have more energy to penetrate through that body mass to get to the vital organs for a quick, clean kill. And as a hunter, that's really what you're after. You want good one-shot kills that are well placed, and you've taken the time to make sure you've got the right caliber, right bullet combination to do the job. For example, here we have a 204 Ruger varmint gun. Great little gun. This is what the bullet or the cartridge looks like. It's very fast, over 4,000 feet per second. It's not an elk gun. It doesn't have enough energy to be an elk gun. Now, could you kill an elk with this gun? Sure you could. You could a well-placed shot, I could kill an elk with this gun, but it's not an elk gun. Most states will have minimum requirements for energy for a big game gun. Make sure you check with your state to find out what is the minimum acceptable caliber. Never go under gun for a big game because you don't want to wound an animal and lose it. As an example, these are both 7mm Remington mag rounds. This is an all copper round, used here in California for a lot of hunts, for hogs especially. And both of these are considered an elk type cartridge, deer and elk. Now, as a guide, the problem I have with the 7 mag is don't use a lightweight bullet. Don't use a 130 grain bullet for elk. Can you kill an elk with a 130 grain bullet? Sure, but I like to see you use a heavier bullet that's got enough weight to get the penetration you want. Use 160 or above on a 7 mag for an elk. It's fine for deer, but an elk's a little bigger animal, a lot more body mass. You have to have good penetration. Here's a 375 Ruger. Look at the difference in the mass and the bullet on that round. That bullet is a good bear gun, it's a good elk gun, a moose gun, it's a good solid thumper, good penetration. It's got a lot of energy on impact at 100 yards. Much more than this small bullet and then 204. So match the bullet up with the kind of hunting that you're going to do. Now, you can pick a rifle caliber that is more or less universal. You can get a 270, a 30-06, maybe a 243. Those are all good rounds that you can get larger and smaller bullets. You can go up or down on the weight in the bullet. You can get hotter loads or lighter loads. And those bullets are good for deer, elk, smaller game, depending on the bullet weight that you choose. If you only buy one gun, that's a good way to go. If you can have a couple of guns, you get a varmint gun, you get a big game gun. The 7 mag works good for me because I practice shooting a lot and I'm a good shot with it. The most important thing as a hunter is be a good shot. And you don't become a good shot by reading a book, you become a good shot by trigger time. You spend time at the range, you shoot the gun, and the more you shoot it, the better you become as a rifleman. We'll talk about that later on in the program, but pick the gun that you're going to use for the game that you're pursuing. That's very important. In this segment, we're going to talk about bullets and loads. Primarily, I want to get across the point that there are different bullets and different bullet designs for the game you're pursuing. Heavier bullets and lighter bullets. Some bullets are designed to disintegrate on impact to cause a lethal wound to small game like squirrels or prairie dogs. On a larger animal, you can't afford to have that bullet disintegrate on impact because it won't make enough penetration to get to the vital organs. If you're going to shoot a moose, you would want a bullet that would stick together and mushroom but get into the vital organs so for a fatal one-shot kill. And that means that you want to start on big game with a bullet that's nice and solid and ends up at the end of the shot, you've got a nice mushroom that retains the weight of the bullet and it does damage to make a lethal one-shot kill. If you're using handguns, using a hollow point, which will expand very rapidly on impact, may be great for a deer, but it might not be very good for a hog. Hog's got thicker skin, has to go through more muscle and bone to get to the vital organs. You'd want a little more of a solid bullet that would penetrate deeper. On big game, for example, a 7mm Remington Magnum with 160 grain rounds, a good round for elk and deer. 375 Ruger with a 270 grain bullet is more mass, has more energy on impact because by virtue of the fact that it's got a 270 grain bullet instead of 160 grains. So that's a great bullet for a brown bear or for moose, larger animals. Still works on an elk just fine. But if you're going to go after a brown bear, you got to look at the weight of the bullet, how much penetration you're going to have, look at the size and the mass of the animal that you're pursuing. Make sure you match the bullet up with the game you're pursuing. Now, it's also a good idea to keep your bullets organized. Have enough with you so that you've got a backup rounds. This is a nice little way to pack them up. They're easy to know where they're at. They don't rattle around in your pocket. You don't lose them. They stay together. One thing I don't really care for is the Velcro noise when you open it up. But it's a good way to keep your bullets organized, your cartridges. Make sure that you select the bullet and the weight of the bullet to go after the game you're after. Don't get a small bullet for like an elk. 130 grains is a little small in my opinion. Use a larger bullet that will penetrate and do the job. Very basics. Bullet has to match the game you're after.
RMTV will be running more of Ron Geyer's The Guide's Guide to Hunting. Hunter education from the bench to the field. Guns and optics in future episodes. To get your own personal and complete copy, order online by going to www.theguidesguidetohunting.com or contact Tracker Marketing, 4130 Pinewood Lake Drive, Bakersfield, California, 93309. Full and complete price is only $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling.